Welcome back, my friends, to the Moto Guzzi show that never ends. It's hello from him, and it's hello from Sasha, who is not only a Guzzi dog today, but she's a welder dog. You've been welding, haven't you, Sasha? There's your helmet. Still got your cool shades on. What a good girl you are. Couldn't do without you. Anyways, so we've been doing a bit of welding on the old girl, and what have we been doing? Well, what we've been doing is we've been making two things. We've been making rear crash bars, and we've been making a luggage rack. I nearly said parcel rack now. Yeah, so if you can't get what you want, you got to make it yourself, which is not a problem if you've got the skills, and not a problem if you're prepared to learn the skills. That's the way I see it. Anyway, so the bike has the original crash bars at the front, which were all manky and rusty, and it had things bolted to them, so I cleaned them all off and painted them black. I could buy chrome ones, but I don't like too much chrome on a bike. I like a little bit of chrome, but not too much. And things that are painted matte black tend to disappear, and you tend not to notice them at first glance. Right. So, excuse the mess. The side panel's still off. The battery's still disconnected for welding. Now then, I'm lucky enough to have a pipe bender, so I was able to bend these myself. These pick up on where probably a genuine Moto Guzzi one would fit. You know, they pick up on this little bracket, the pillion footrest bracket, which would be a pillion footrest if I had the pillion seat, which I don't. So it picks up on those, which also hold the silencer, or the can, and they pick up on a hole in the frame there, which is purposely there. So that was one thing I made, and the same on the other side, obviously. Now, Sasha's had enough of my BS. I'm going to go outside and see if there's any squirrels out there. Go for squirrels. We'll see that squirrel. Yeah. Anyways, so I was in town and I was buying steel for this rack, which I was going to make out of 3/4 square tubing, which I did. Then I thought it'd be nice to make the middle rails out of 1/2 inch, so I bought some of this material. This is 1/2 inch square tubing. Nice stuff, quite strong actually, quite strong, stronger than you would think. Anyways, so I've got this luggage system, this Krieger luggage system, which I've probably shown you before, and these are really nice bags. I like them. They're really nice bags. They're quite smart. Excuse these are a bit mucky and dusty because they've been doing service on that bike as well. So I wanted to use these, and but I didn't want to pay $220 for that plate, and I need one each side, so that's $440, which is an awful lot of money. So I do have an alternative. I did make a video where I discussed making a side plates out of this stuff, which I will do for another bike, but just not this bike. Now, this bike is an old-fashioned bike, and I didn't want to stick anything too modern on it, anything too out of place, if you know what I mean. But I'm not one of these trendy people who likes leather bags and wax cotton bags, which, although leather's durable, I've got a wasp in here. Sasha wants to kill the wasp. Anyway, so where was I? Yes, didn't want leather. Leather is durable, but leather's not waterproof, and wet leather sags and is a mess. Wax cotton, they look great. They look absolutely fantastic, but you can't get them big enough. Like these are, I believe, 32 litres. I don't think there's any leather one, any wax cotton ones that are that big. I like the Royal Enfield ones. They look really nice, but they're quite small, and they have a little ledge on their carriers to stop the bags from sagging. Well, Krieger bags don't need that because they've got this loop system which holds the bag up really well, and I really like it because it's reasonably quickly detachable. You can have the panniers off in between 5 and 10 seconds, which is no big deal. Not instant like the Moscow Moto or the Lone Riders or some of the others, but there is no extra weight. You know, the bag is the bag. So when you go into the motel, hotel, take it into your tent, you're carrying the bag. You're not carrying 5 pounds of steel or aluminum bolted to what, in other words, is a soft bag. I don't see the point. I really like this. So this is what I made my rack for. So I took that as a template. I narrowed it a bit and I shortened it a bit and came up with a minimum size rack that I thought would do the job. But it seems to be okay. I've just finished welding it in situ, and I need to take it off the bike and to finish off the welding. But this is basically how it's going to be. And then obviously it'll get a coat of paint. And I've also given it a Mandello Gambolunga style eagle. Amazing what you can do in 5 minutes with a grinder. So there we go. This is my rack system. I like it. What it does is a lot of these bikes, they have a tubular, people call it scaffolding, and of course it's not scaffolding, but it is a tubular universal type pannier mounting rack, and then you can put whatever ones you want on. And then you have to stick this plate on if you want to carry these. And I thought, well, why have a tubular arrangement and then stick a universal plate on, which being universal, like somebody commented that universal means it fits nothing properly. Why not incorporate it all into one? So I made this, and I didn't want to go with tubing, with round tubing, because well, basically I don't have I don't have dies that small for my tubing bender. No, this is the smallest I can. So, and they're horrendously expensive, so I'm not just going to buy them for one project. But anyway, I do know how to miter corners a little bit. So that's what I went with, and jiggled around with it, played with it for a bit. Got one that I thought would work, and then put this down on the bench, and then use this as a template to make the other one. So I'm quite pleased with it. By making it like this and making it fairly solid, done away with the need for a diagonal. I was thinking of putting a diagonal from somewhere here all the way down to this bottom bracket here. But in actual fact, this serves the purpose. So I've done away with the tubing. I've done away with the idea of a diagonal, done away with the idea of a plate. And when this is painted black, matte black, it'll almost disappear. You really won't notice it as much as you do now while it's shiny bare metal. What else was I going to say? Oh yeah, when it comes to quickly detachable, there's only 3 bolts hold it on. There's one here, and one here, and they're all easily accessible. And you'll have each side off in a couple of minutes. Not quite as quick as the SW Motec. I think they have a quick release dealies, but I know how to use a spanner, so no big deal there. So there we go. I think it's more in keeping with the age of the bike, or even an earlier age. I wanted to sort of get that pre-war look for my carrier and for my side panels. I think I've achieved it. I don't know whether I have or not, but in my mind I have. So let's just, excuse me, I'm one-handed. Let's just put this on. And now you can see how they work, you know, this buckle, you pull this through, and then the buckle, you just flip the buckle 90 degrees, and then that bag will not go anywhere. And it's reasonably stiff here, it won't sag, and also it won't sag because this strap here, apologies for being one-handed, goes around and underneath and gets hooked on here, there, and then this comes up. Oops. This comes up and gets tightened on there, and then you cinch it up tight and lock it, and then this bag will not sag. You can see it's not even tight and it's not sagging. And when you've got it loaded, at the moment it's got something in there, I don't know what it is, a towel or a sheet or something, just to pack it out a bit. That will not sag. I've had soft bags in the past and they have sagged, and on a chain bike they will run underneath and catch the chain, or they'll touch the wheel, or they'll, if you've got a bike with bodywork here, the throw over bags will rub as you're going down the road and take the finish off your paint. So anyway, in its traveling form, this is what the bike is going to look like, pretty much. You know, I don't have a pillion seat, so that is going to fit. Yeah, that'll fit about there, which still gives me enough room to put a top case on if I want to. I don't particularly like top cases. I've got one on this bike, but the purpose of this is just to put helmets in, to be able to lock them away, or put my helmet and my jacket in if I want to go do some shopping. I'm in a built-up area and I want to lock them away out of sight. Yeah, I know it's plastic and a determined thief can get in it, but if it's out of sight, it's out of mind, right? So when I'm traveling, that is usually empty. This bike, I'm not usually carrying a pillion, but I can if I want to. But I normally have my Kriegers either side. I have my duffel on top. This, believe it or not, is my long-range toolkit. I think you could do a major engine overhaul with the tools I carry, but that's just me. It's just me. I'm not saying anybody should do that. So yeah, so there we are. That is the latest news on the bike front. I don't think it looks out of place. I think it looks all right, reasonable. Anyway, not having a pillion seat, I can bring all the luggage forward and keep the weight central, make the bike handle better. Obviously this bag is not quite full, neither are these. This bag will rest on my toolbox, so if I want to get to my tools, all I got to do is undo these quick release straps, take that out the way, my tools are right there. It's got a smaller toolbox because it's a Moto Guzzi and they never break down. Famous last words. Anyway, so there we go. That's one carrier and side rack system. I hope it's been of some use to somebody somewhere. May give you some ideas to make your own. I think I might do a video on the choice of pannier bags and show you some of the ones that I've tried in the past and what I think of them. So until next time. Oh, by the way, I bought 20 feet of 1/2 inch square tubing, and that's all I have left. So never underestimate the amount you're going to use. Yeah, and as regards cost, well, I don't know what, I think a rack for a bike like the Triumph is around $450 to $550, depending on where you get it from. 20 feet of this, 20 feet of that, that's 3/4 inch square tubing. 10 feet of this tubing here, which I believe is, they call it 3/4, but it's actually 7/8, the same as handlebars. So 10 feet of that, 20 of this, 20 of that, $70. And a bit of time. So, you know, if you're willing to spend a bit of time and crack at it. And what am I looking at? 4 afternoons to make this. So yeah, you can save yourself quite a bit of money, and you can probably make something better than you are able to buy. So there we go. So until next time, it's goodbye from him. It's goodbye from Sasha the Guzzi dog. Take care of yourselves, look after one another. Keep the rubber side down, keep the Guzzi side up. Bye for now.